listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a successful motivational speaker and trusted life coach, Nancy knows how you can live the life you want regardless of the challenges you face. Although she's legally blind, Nancy's mission is to inspire others to overcome obstacles and live life full out. Call in at 800-333-0001 to ask Nancy for advice on topics such as relationships, finances, business, health, and more. Just call 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari, and today we're going to be talking about self-doubt. We've all been in that place where we're just not quite sure if we can achieve that goal, that dream that we have for ourselves, or maybe there's something big coming up and you just don't know if you're going to give that perfect presentation or how that date is going to go, or even if you're ready for that job. Well, today we want to cast those self-doubts aside because you are worth it. You're an original. Whether maybe people that have similar qualities to you, there is only one you, and we want to let that shine today. So we're going to be talking about eliminating those self-doubts from our mind, from our heart, from our soul, and also we're going to be taking your calls. Again, that number is 800-333-0001, 800-333-0001. So if something is heavy on your heart, or you're just at a crossroads and you're trying to decide, what do I do? This is when you call into the show and we can help talk it out with you. We are going to be having an inspirational guest coming up in our next segment, Eve Parker. Wow, her story is amazing because we've all been there, right? We've all wanted to lose those extra couple pounds. Well, try losing 150 pounds. Okay, she did it with grace, with style, truly, and now she's motivating others to lose weight. And then also, if you have any questions or if you're inspired by today's show and you want to reach out to us, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. We always want to make sure you get the resources you need to, again, eliminate that self-doubt and live full out in your life. Or if you have an inspirational story that you feel would motivate our audience, we'd love to hear from you as well. Again, that's connect@livingfullout.com. Lastly, if you want to hear today's show again or any of our episodes, just go to livingfullout.com, click on the radio show tab, and all of our episodes will be waiting there for you. Now, I'm getting word for our producer that we do have a caller on the line, so we're going to go say hello to them. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Hi, thank you for calling in. How can I help you today?
Yes, ma'am. I just had a question. As a veteran educator, administrator who is also the director of an immigrant education center in Central Arkansas, how do I promote diversity, cultural understanding, and cultural proficiency when immigrants, specifically Mexican immigrants like myself, are being vilified by the media?
It's a great question. You know, and today we're talking about self-doubt, right? And so when we feel that pressure from the media, from society, when we're trying to make our way in the world and just be our unique selves, that's what you want to show them. You want to show those students, those people that you help, that you serve, what makes them special, what makes them unique. You know, what do they have to offer that someone else doesn't? And is there anybody that comes to mind when you're thinking about that?
Yes, ma'am. I've been in the field of education for 30 years, and our small education center teaches English to adults in Central Arkansas, and they come after their two jobs, and they're working as hard as they can work to learn English.
And you're right there beside them, though, right? You're right there beside them, helping that dream come true. So whenever you're wondering what do you need to say to them to give them that extra inspiration amongst all the pressures right now in the world, you just need to be you as their teacher, as their mentor, you know, helping them the most you can to see the opportunity that's available to them. And teaching them with love in your heart, and also, again, helping to guide them to something purposeful in their life. I mean, they're obviously working two jobs, they're learning English, they're trying to find that lane, that wheelhouse where they can be themselves. So it's just helping them to identify, again, what makes them special, what makes them unique, you know, what are their dreams, and how can we help them to achieve those dreams? It's all a conversation, but it's a conversation that stays positive, stays hopeful. Because if you have motivation in your heart, if you have good friends, family, and mentors like you, they will do well. But they need that when their back's against the wall, when they're feeling society's pressure. They need that to know that their life is worth it, that what they have to contribute is going to be meaningful to another person. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you want to hear the good news? The good news is you're that person. You're that person that's going to give them that motivation. You're that person that's going to push away that self-doubt and help them to say, you know what? I'm going to block it all out because I'm worth it, and I'm going to grab my dream and I'm going to go for it. Okay? But thank you so much for calling in. No, really, you're special, and go keep doing what you're doing. You're going to do great. Okay?
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you for calling in. You know, her call is so relevant and so important to our conversation today, right? We're all feeling this pressure, and we just want to take a bite out of that apple, which is our dreams, our goals. But what happens when someone says you can't do something, you can't be something, or, you know, you're not the right fit, you don't look the part? Well, do you just give up, or do you say, you know what, I'm going to fight for my dream, and you're not going to take it from me? I want everybody here today, fight for your dream. Promise you, it's worth it. Now we're going to go back to the phone lines again and say hello to one of our callers. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi, Nancy. It's great to be on the show.
Well, we're so happy to have you. And what's going on today? How can we help you out?
So I guess I need some relationship advice. My boyfriend, who I've been with for about a year, he's just never really gotten along with my friends well. He's never really meshed with the group. And because my group of friends always, like, all my girls bring their boyfriends around, it's kind of caused, like, I guess, a rift. And I'm just trying to, me and my boyfriend get in a lot of fights about it because I just want him to come out with my friends and he never wants to. So I'm just curious how I can kind of, like, balance my friends and my boyfriend without kind of getting upset that he doesn't mesh well.
Well, you know, you bring up a good point, and I feel like I've been you. You're a younger me at one time, I swear, because this is not an uncommon question. The thing is when you can mix him into the group, when it's a large enough setting, that's when you want to do so, but maybe not in the intimate, like, party of four type situation. That may not be where that might not be where he thrives. I would also be very curious to ask him, you know, why does he not gel with your friends? Did somebody say something to him at one time that made him feel bad? I don't know. It would be a worthwhile conversation rather than telling him or talking at him, talking down to him. Why don't you? You want to try to take out the don'ts, the shouldn'ts, the wouldn'ts, the nots. You want to be more curious as to why. What's wrong? Which friend in particular? Why does he feel uncomfortable? Because if you can uncover the why, now you have something to run with. What you and I don't know is if maybe something was said at one point, a look was given to him, because all those little gestures can make us sometimes feel like we don't fit in, or somebody's judging us, or somebody doesn't like us. So that's one option. The other option is, this is where dating is, quote, quote, dating. It's not as if you're marrying your current boyfriend right now. You're dating. You're seeing if he is the best fit for you, both emotionally, physically, with your friends, with your family. And that's what dating's meant to be for. And you might discover down the line, if there is no issue, if there was no look or gesture or something said to him that makes him rebel from your friends, if he's just choosing to be difficult, that may ultimately be a deal breaker for you. But only you know that. And I would, in every relationship, always go all the way. Go all the way. Ask that person questions. Give every benefit of the doubt you can. Try communicating with your friends, with your boyfriends. Do everything you can. So if that day should come when you have to leave the relationship for any reason, you can say you did it. You gave it your best. You did your all. But that starts with communicating. Do you see that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And also, when you close your eyes at night and you think about your life and where you want to be and who you want to be with, are you in a career or do you have a family? What does that look like? At some point, you have to ask yourself, is this that person standing by your side? Is this that life partner? And if it's not, well, then just enjoy the time you have with him. But There's so many great people out there. I'm not saying give up on your current man. I'm sure he's beautiful and great in his own way. But I am committed to you being happy. Okay? To you living your life full out. Instead of trying to please everybody, really soul search in your heart what makes you happy, and then follow that. Okay?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Oh, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So really, we're all in this together, right? We're dealing with different self-doubts, but we can tread these waters. We can get to the dry land. So when we come back, we're going to be joined by our inspirational guest, Eve Parker. Again, this is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and we'll be right back.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I'd like kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak. Let's make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Don't you wish that getting your child to eat right, move more, and spend less time in front of a screen could be as easy as pushing a button? It might not be that simple, but you do have more power than you know. And you can maximize that power with proven strategies, tips, and tools from the National Institutes of Health's We Can, or Ways to Enhance Children's Activity and Nutrition program. We Can offers all kinds of resources, including fun recipes and activities the family can do together to show you the way to live a healthier lifestyle. We're not saying it's easy. We are saying that it can be done. Take the first step today. Call 1-866-359-3226 for a free We Can Parents Handbook. And be sure to visit the We Can website at wecan.nhlbi.nih.gov for free information too. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
It's not what I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And
then nothing. Ha 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 ha. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite. Look out! Look out! And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. A professional motivational speaker, Nancy can help you overcome obstacles and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello, welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari, and today we are talking about self-doubt. Again, we've all had those moments where we're just not sure if we're ever going to achieve that dream, that goal. And also being really deflated, like, we fall down, we have to get back up again. And how many times can you fall down before you just want to put up that white flag and say, I surrender, I give up? Well, don't give up. That's what Living Full Out's about, that you keep moving forward tenaciously. And our inspirational guest today, Eve Parker, is a perfect example of living full out. She, found herself well over her weight goal, and I think she was about 300 pounds, and lost hundreds of pounds. And the thing is you want to make sure that you listen to Eve's story, not just if you're looking to lose weight, but it's the lessons that she learned in between, that don't give up attitude. Well, when you meet Eve, you're going to see what I mean. But I'd like to welcome her to the show. Eve Parker, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Nancy. Yes, don't give up, everybody. It's not the time to be given up.
Exactly. And I promised you, she is a fireball, and she is. And it's that fire, it's that vigor that I believe gives you that fuel for that tenacity. And I want to take our listeners here back. Can you share with us early on, what caused you to gain all the weight that you did? How did you get to that point?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a lot of times people's first thing, like, how do you even go that far? I was 340 pounds at 24 years old, and being overweight for me was something that it just didn't happen overnight. There wasn't like one event. I didn't have children. It wasn't a death or anything. It was, I grew up that way, and I remember in kindergarten, I joke that my first four-letter word was diet, because I remember in kindergarten becoming aware, oh, wow, I'm a big kid compared to the other children. And in my household, it was very much about, food, like so many households, and especially how it used to be that you cleared your plate, and the only time we would really come around together as a family was over food. So I started to make those associations that food equaled family and love. And, I'd taken myself through many different difficult life experiences, and food was just always consistently there for me. It was a comfort, first way to really feel full, if our life is leaving us feeling empty, what's the fastest way to feel full? Put something in your belly. So it was, it was something that has always had been a struggle for me.
Well, and I'm so glad that you're kind of exposing this for all of us, because we've all gone through that journey. We've wanted to lose 5 pounds, 20 pounds, 150 pounds, you name it. And it's not like anybody escapes that image issue. I feel overweight. I feel a little bit more, lumpy and bumpy, and you name it. And the thing is how did you keep your mindset so strong? I mean, early on, I'm sure you were made fun of. I'm sure you were picked on. And how did
yeah. I definitely, it was one of those things you'd hear the snickers. And some kids were just blatantly like, all I would tell you, yeah, you're fat. And it's like, well, I really can't argue with you that I am. And, it was a coping mechanism for me. I instantly became the funny chubby girl, the funny fat girl, if you will, that I would make fun of myself before anybody else could. And it was very much like a protection. And I did not want to be seen as less than who I was, even though I obviously was, being just, labeled as there's the big girl in the room. Mm-hmm. So I was the class clown my senior year of high school. I was always the jokester. It's like I allowed that to be my identity. Like, oh, well, clearly I'm just going to be fat, and now I'm just going to have to cope with it. So rather than, at a young age, obviously it's difficult. If you're, in middle school and high school, it's hard to lose the weight if you're relying on your parents. So for me, that was the most logical way of doing it was, I'm just going to resolve that I'm always going to be fat, but I'm going to be at least funny. So I have one good characteristic.
Well, and a lot of times comedy and tragedy go hand in hand. So obviously to the world, you were the, I guess, fat or overweight funny girl, but behind closed doors, when you were in, your bedroom by yourself, what conversations did you start to have with yourself? To the rest of the world, you were the funny girl, the overweight girl. Mm-hmm. But behind your closed door, what did you want for yourself? What finally made you say enough's enough?
Wow, that's a beautiful question. That is like the $10 million question. Like, what is enough? It took a long time. The conversations that would go on behind closed doors were very dark, because I think all of us know deep down that there's a purpose for us here in our life. And I'm sure your listeners are the first ones. They want to live full outs and they want to achieve their greatness. And we all intuitively know that. And even at a young age, I knew there's something bigger for me to do in life. But because of my insecurities and just because of my low self-worth, I didn't think it was possible. So yeah, very dark conversations of, you're not good enough, you're stupid, very unsupportive. I came from a household where, my mom, she, beautiful soul, brilliant woman, but she was very much riddled with issues and problems. And I watched this gorgeous woman who had so much potential not live up to her potential. And I felt, oh my gosh, that's my future. So the conversation just kind of continued to be that. Like, I know I have potential, but you don't live up to that potential. It's too hard or it's impossible. And that mindset, took me into unsupportive relationships. It took me into drugs. It took me into bulimia, which brought me all the way to being 24 years old, feeling like I was ready to end my life. And, just feeling completely like I had spiraled out of control. And it was a very specific moment. And Nancy, you may have had people tell you that who've had big transformations, that it literally, it feels like it takes you years to transform, but really it's a matter of seconds when the decision is made that your life shifts. And it's, it was the moment we had spoken about being in the bathroom. And I was 24 years old, 24 years young, some would say. And I was in a relationship with a man who loved obese women. So the one thing I wanted out of life, which was love, I was getting, but from a man who loved me because I was obese. So there was a huge neurological disconnection there, like, oh, you're tangoing. Right. And, I was looking at my parents who were very ill. And I realized I was looking, like I say, into a genetic mirror. And then I had no future if I continued down this road. A doctor told me I would be lucky if I would live to be 30, and I certainly wouldn't live to be 40.
Well, and Eve, I want to pause right there because we have to go to commercial break, but this pivotal point is coming that I really want our listeners to get. So everybody stay tuned for the rest of Eve's story. Again, we'll be coming right back. This is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a trusted life coach, Nancy will help you overcome setbacks and embrace all life has to offer. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about self-doubt and how we can get those negative thoughts out of our mind, out of our hearts, so that we can propel ourselves to where we want to go in life, to who we want to be, so we can live full out. Now, our inspirational guest today, Eve Parker, as I've said, is such a good example of living full out because she took those self-doubts and she overrode them. She said, you know what, I'm better than this. I can be better than this. And finding herself over 300 pounds, she went on to lose hundreds of pounds to achieve not just her weight goal, but stepping into the life that she envisioned for herself. So I'd like to welcome Eve back to the show.
Thank you so much,
Eve,
Nancy.
You're welcome. So we were just talking about that pivotal moment where you did step into the life that you desire, and you were dating a man who was into women that were overweight. And you were also watching your parents become ill, and that could have been also due to many of their own life choices. And that, again, was a mirror for you of what your life might be. In some cases, it probably felt safe. I can be overweight and I have love. I do see where my parents are kind of having bad health and deteriorating, but at the same time, it's safe. What made you say, no, I'm not going to settle. I'm going to move forward?
You know, I think that's and I love the imagery that you talked about with mirrors, that everything, it's so much in life is mirrors. It was a conversation I feel like I'd been having with myself for years, and it was this moment where it felt like life stopped and everything that was right and everything that was wrong just kind of looked me in the eyes. And it was like, you have a decision made to Eve. You know, you can go with this or you can go with that. You know, you have a crossroads. And I, not to get too graphic, but there was a specific moment where it shifted, and it was in the bathroom. Like I had shared, I was bulimic at the time, and I had just purged, and I caught a glimpse of myself in the toilet, and I was astonished because I didn't recognize the woman who was looking back at me. And it was in that moment I started to question, do I want to keep going? You know, do I end this, or do I give it a fair shot? And giving it a fair shot didn't seem realistic. I had tried so many diets and so many different methods. And as I'm starting to think, well, my mom has all these prescription drugs in her bedroom, I have an out. Something inside of me said, what if this time could be different? And it was kind of a weird experience. It was almost eerie in a moment, because I was like, well, I know unconsciously, like, am I talking to God? Is this like unconsciousness? What's going on here? And something inside me just kept asking that question, what if this time could be different? And I didn't realistically feel it could, but I entertained it for a moment. Okay, well, if this time is in fact going to be different, what would that look like? Specifically, what would that look like in action? And at the time, I couldn't walk my driveway. And that was kind of just the decision in that very quick moment. Okay, I'm going to start walking my driveway. And that kind of became my life's ambition at that time at 24 years old. Like, okay, every day from here on out, I cannot walk the driveway because it's so long and I was so out of shape. And that just became my life's ambition. I'm going to do this. So my focus specifically shifted from what's going wrong to what could potentially go right.
Well, and you know what I love about it? You just took something that was a true goal that you knew you could achieve. Even that walking that driveway was not possible probably on day one, but how good did you feel when you finally walked it for the first time?
Oh my gosh, it was like, as cheesy as it sounds, right? It was kind of like your life it's like my life came back. It was like, oh, well, what else could be possible? You know,
and that's right where I'm going. I love that. See, the what else is possible? What's next? So you walked the driveway, you did it, and you said, I can do more. What was that next step?
Mm-hmm. It was the neighborhood. I got to the end and it's like, well, I don't want to stop here. And I felt invigorated, as simple as it was. And so I didn't like walking during the day because I didn't really want to be seen much. So in the mornings and the evenings, I'm like, okay, my new goal is to walk the neighborhood. And then from there, it was like, okay, and that took a while because it was a big neighborhood. But it was what little baby steps.
Yeah. And I love that. Again, everybody who's listening, follow Eve's, lesson here. Pick something that can be done, quantify it, right? Something you can achieve. Mm-hmm. And I love that you did that. And so obviously you started to lose weight. Did you feel that you lost the weight because you were doing all this workout activity? Was it nutrition that also did it? How did you lose so much weight? Because you lost hundreds of pounds. How did you do that?
Yeah, it was definitely a big relief. I also at the time, because I had sleep apnea, because I had dangerously high cholesterol, I had hypertension, my kidneys weren't functioning correctly, I knew I had to do something also with my eating. And so I went vegan initially, so a plant-based lifestyle. And I think it was just a combination of both. It was such a shock to my system. I wasn't moving on a consistent basis other than just to the car, to the fridge, to the couch, to school. So I shocked my system with movement, and then I shocked my system with having all of these plants go through my body. Like I was eating like radishes. I'd never had radishes. I'd had an avocado maybe once. And so I was literally healing myself from the inside out.
And one half of it is obviously the physical, and in terms of the working out and the things that you put in your mouth, what you eat. But it's also the emotional. How did you let go of being that big, funny girl? And who did you become? Did you become a skinny, funny girl? Or what did you become?
What did you become? I love that because we do have this perceived image of who I'm going to be at the end of this weight loss journey. And it was interesting because within 10 months, I lost 100 pounds. It just fell off, it felt like. And so by 2012, I'd lost 150 pounds. And what was interesting was I was still the same woman I was at 340 pounds that I was at 190 pounds. And it really wasn't until I started working, I had the beautiful opportunity. I got a job working for Tony Robbins, and I started working with his coaching department and one of his coaches, Shasheen Shah, that I started to actually work on the emotional baggage because I would still sit down slowly on seats at 190 pounds, afraid I was going to break them. I was afraid of how much space I took up. So I very much carried the mental and emotional weight with me this whole journey.
Mm-hmm. And what finally clicked for you that allowed you to see yourself in a new way? I mean, you had that you're starting to get the coaching, emotionally, but what finally made you look in the mirror and say, "Wow, you are beautiful. You're awesome."
Well, it's a dance every single day. So it's like there's years of, it took years to do this. It took years to do that. That literally has been the most difficult part of the journey, is to look in the mirror and say, not only have I lost weight, but that I am beautiful. And I can't really think of a specific moment. I think it's just been so much different self-love activities. Like I teach self-love extensively with people. And it was, honestly, interestingly enough, you used the example of mirrors. It was a lot of looking in the mirror, both with clothes and without clothes, and really just getting to know myself and giving myself permission. I think if I had to give it to one piece, it's giving myself permission and allowing myself to nestle into the new identity of I'm smaller and that I'm allowed to be beautiful.
I love that. And what happens when you messed up, when you ate the wrong thing? Because we've all done it. We tell our friends, I'm dieting, I'm working out, and then when no one's around, we go eat that cheeseburger because they don't know, and it's just one cheeseburger. but what happened, I guess, the first time, the second time, or even recently, when you eat something that's not good? Do you beat yourself up, or how can our listeners not beat themselves up?
Yes, this is a huge piece for viewers who are looking to lose weight, or not even just lose weight, but trying to maintain a healthy mind and a healthy body. For years, it was bad. I would eat something that I knew I quote unquote shouldn't, and I would go to shame. I even went back and was bulimic for a little while, even post weight loss, because I was just so ashamed of, I know better. Why did I do this? And now I don't worry about that. Like it's because the food used to have power over me. And at this stage of my life, it's just food. It's just calories. Like if we take it down to its simplest form, it is energy that is going into your body. So if you're ingesting more energy in your body, just means you're going to probably want to burn a little bit more energy. So it's not giving all of the power to the food. A cheeseburger is literally just a cheeseburger. And it's funny I say that because I used to give cheeseburgers and corn dogs and soda all the power. But at this stage, if I go on vacation, if I go to a new restaurant and there's something on there that may not be the best choice, but I still want to experience it, I'm going to experience it. I just no longer allow it to have control over me. And I'm mindful of what else I eat for the rest of the day, or I move a little more, have a little bit more water. You just got to enjoy life. Life is full of flavors, not just with food. Life should be flavorful.
Somehow you were in a prison, in a cell, and somehow you found the key and you got yourself out. And everybody can be in some sort of a prison within themselves. It could be food, it could be a relationship. And I think what I take away, Eve, from your call today, from this conversation, is just to not give up. Just take things in little strides. But I'm thrilled that you were able to share your story with us today. And if you had just one last bit of advice, literally 30 seconds, what would you say?
Literally keep going. It's the only reason why anybody who's truly successful in life, the only thing that separates them between you and them is that they never gave up and they see failures as opportunities.
I love that. I love that. And thank you so much, Eve, for being on the show with us today. I really appreciate that. I mean, I'm not going to feel bad about the Mountain Dew I drank earlier. Nope. No. I just got to go walk around the block or something. Nope. I feel good. But thank you so much, Eve, for being on the show today. And we'll be thinking of you.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And when we come back, obviously we're going to be taking your calls. We're also going to be talking more about self-doubt. So think about this as we go into this next break. What is holding you back? What self-talk is negative that you just need to stop saying to yourself? Let's handle that. Let's manage that. Let's get it out of your body, out of your mind in this next segment. We'll be right back.
Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
The following message is about Medicaid and CHIP, free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. Enrollment is open year-round.
Hey, voice lady, give me the mic.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, let's switch up the music. That's better. So listen up, moms and dads out there. There are these programs called Medicaid and CHIP. They offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids. Things like doctor and dentist visits, prescriptions, and shots are covered. All the stuff that keeps kids like me healthy and in charge.
So, as you can tell, a covered kid is a confident kid. And it means confident parents, too. To learn more about affordable health coverage for your family, visit healthcare.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. That's 1-877-543-7669.
Yep, you could do something big for your family today because enrollment is open year-round.
This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And Sophia.
They're going to jump out of trees. You can't stop them. They'll go down the slide head first. They'll make parachutes out of sheets. They'll balance on things that are impossible to balance on, like the back of a couch or a windowsill or a scooter seat. They'll run with sharp objects. They'll run into walls. They'll climb things that won't hold their weight. They'll put their fingers in places where they could get smashed. They'll drive their tricycles down steep hills. They'll bounce balls off their faces. They'll step on each other. They'll jump on each other. They'll invent whole new ways to put themselves in jeopardy. But one of the most dangerous things kids will do happens while they're sitting perfectly still. Kids who ride in a car without a booster seat are much more likely to suffer serious or fatal injury during a crash than kids in boosters. But amazingly, 80% of all kids who need them aren't in them. After a toddler seat and until they're 4'9", booster kids, and don't let them down.
Go to boosterseat.gov to learn more about the importance of boosters. A message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Hey, Nick Cannon here. So we all know we've got a lot of talent in America. But unfortunately, there's something else we got way too much of. Childhood hunger. 17 million kids struggle with it in this country. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gather surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
We're your pets, and this song's dedicated to those people who don't have health insurance yet. Enroll, we say, we want you to be okay. Enroll,
Health insurance is now affordable and covers prescriptions, hospitalizations, and preventive care. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn more.
And take care, people.
Brought to you by Get Covered America and the Ad Council.
When you're feeling as though self-doubt is just creeping within you and you are afraid that you're not going to achieve that goal, that dream, when others are telling you things that are putting you down, making you not feel as strong as you want to be, always remember that within you lies the tenacity, the drive, the ambition to achieve your goals and dreams. Those self-doubts, it's just fear, which stands for false evidence appearing real. It's not real. Tell that self-doubt to get out of your mind, out of your heart, so that you can live your life full out.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a certified life coach, Nancy can help you to overcome challenges and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about self-doubt. And I'm telling you, it's interesting because if we allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by life burdens, if we allow the bills, the heavy relationships, the need to get that job, or maybe we're working multiple jobs and maybe we want something and we're trying, we can't get it, and gobble, 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 it just overtakes us. All that self-doubt is just literally weights on your shoulders. But they're not all that's within you. Within you is that dream, is that goal. Within you is that person that you want to care for, that you love and desire. And I want everybody to really sit with that, because that person, that child within us that had big goals and dreams as a kid, that teenager, that adolescent, that person in our 20s and 30s, depending on how old you are, 40s and 50s and beyond, that person is still inside you. Whatever life pressures are pushing you down, you just need to push back. Fight for your life. Fight for what you want in your life. Don't let those pressures take them from you. And that self-doubt is why we're here today, why we're shining a light on it, so that you're not giving your power away. You want to make sure that you take that self-doubt like you were, crumpling up a piece of paper and just throw it out, because it doesn't exist. It's not something that actually has a tangible power to suppress you, but we let it take our power away. I'm getting the word from our producer here that we do have a caller on the line, so we're going to go say hello. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hi, welcome to the show. Thank you. How can we help you today?
Well, I'm having some friend problems. I have a friend that I feel doesn't put in the same level of effort into our relationship as I do, and seems to get passive-aggressive a lot when I don't understand why. And it makes me feel very unappreciated when I'm with them. But together we've had some amazing times that I don't have with any other people, and I'm wondering how I can improve our friendship, and when is it time to call it quits?
It's a good question. Well, let me ask you this. So you're the one that you feel puts more energy into it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you put energy into it and that person kind of does less or maybe nothing at all, how does that make you feel?
It just makes me feel like she doesn't respect me.
Mm-hmm. And respect is big, right? Because you have to trust, you have to respect. We have such a small life when we really think about it. Even if you live to be 100, it goes so fast. And so you want to make sure that you surround yourself with people that will fill you up, that will build you and support you and take you where you want to go. Now, I'm not saying take that friend and toss them away, but respect is big. It is huge, and you nailed it. So have you mentioned to your friend about these concerns that you have and how it makes you feel?
I guess sort of. It's just kind of hard to bring up a topic like this because I'm afraid I'll jeopardize the friendship.
Okay. And let's say you jeopardize the friendship. What pain means more to you? Is there a bigger pain in the way that your friend disrespects you? Or is there a bigger pain in maybe losing that relationship? Which one carries more weight?
I'm not sure. Maybe right now it would be losing the relationship. At the same time, I'm not sure what the future will hold.
Okay. Well, why don't you just let things unfold? So, because I respect where you're at in terms of wanting this friendship to grow. And I think that you have to, at some point, decide. It's a little bit like cleaning house, right? When you clean your house, You get rid of things. You give them away, you donate them, or you throw them out, right? Now, I'm not saying that you're going to donate friends or throw friends out, but at some point you have to remember that friends are in chapters of our life. Consider your story, your life story, like a book, right? So this friend has been in numerous chapters of your life, but I don't know if this friend is meant to be in every chapter of your life. At some point, you may grow to be in a relationship. You may have a family. You may move. You might have other work demands. And those chapters will open up new relationships, new experiences. And I don't know if that friend will be in every chapter with you. So in some cases, I'm sure you've heard the saying, love the one you're with, right? Love your friend for the time that you're with them now. Maximize this relationship now. But when you eventually feel that the pain of feeling disrespected weighs more on you than the pain of losing the relationship, that's when you might have to just distance yourself. You don't have to do a big, ta-da, we're done, get out. It doesn't have to be dramatic, right? It just means that naturally you may lose touch, or you might not. I mean, I look at friends in my life where I'm like, oh gosh, we had such good vacations and we grew up together and the things that we experienced. But those aren't necessarily all the same friends I have now. I think of them, I smile when I think of them, but my friends now support me where I want to go in my future. And I think that will just come with time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
But for now, just enjoy your friend. Enjoy this friendship. And just listen to your heart. Respect yourself. And at some point, if that friendship starts to be more of a burden than a pleasure, that's when you know you need to distance yourself. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, too.
What a great question. And when we think about respecting ourselves, that's also about telling the self-doubt, get out of my mind, get out of my heart, because we know we're worth it. We know we deserve better. And I want you to thrive. I want you to wake up every day and smile and say, I really like who I am. Now, we're going to have days that are hard. They're not always going to be a piece of cake. But just hang in there. Trust the process, because it's all about living life full out. Thank you for joining us today. I want to thank the entire team here. We have Annalee and Mindy and Rich and everybody who puts this show on. But most of all, I want to thank you. And most of all, here's to you living your life full out. We'll see you next week.